Is there one paper you should be using for landscape photography? Well, hello, welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim Jones. The plan today is to talk about, as you can see, landscape photography and find out if there's one paper that you can use that will do everything and every subject and genre within landscape photography as well. Now, I've been very privileged to print some of our amazing ambassadors prints on the table here. We've got Gavin Hardcastle over here. I've got Julian over here. I've got Nigel Danson as well. Joe Cornish. I've got a Charlie Waite over here as well. I've got a Paul Sanders, and I've also got hiding in here a nice Lizzie Shepherd print as well. I'd like to think all of these ambassadors are at the top of the tree, basically, of landscape photography and have been there for a long time. So I have the pleasure of talking about prints and papers from all these ambassadors here. I've put links as well to their websites just in the description below as well, so please go and check out their work if you haven't already. Gavin has an amazing YouTube channel as well, so please, obviously, by subscribing to our channel, but also give him a look as well and subscribe to his channel. And obviously Nigel Danson has a fantastic YouTube channel as well, so please go over and check that one out. Julian, again, fantastic YouTube channel all about Dartmoor and his photography over there as well. So enough about the ambassadors and the lovely prints he made. A little bit of housekeeping before I start. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button below. And also don't forget to sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter on photospeed.com. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. So that's housekeeping out of the way. Let's have a look at these amazing pictures and I think amazing prints as well, and which papers they're printed on. And we will try and unravel the mystery of printing landscape photography. I'm going to give you a little bit technical information of which printer I've used and things. So I used the Epson P900 for all of these prints on the table here. And I was using the media type of Fine Art Matte for the matte prints, and also the brighter setting for the brighter prints over here. And they're all printed at 1440 DPI on the higher setting effectively. So we haven't gone the full hog. They've got carbon black on for the kind of glossy luster brighter print over here. For the non-matte prints over here, I have used the carbon black as well. That was turned on, but at 1440 DPI, like I said. So nothing too fancy, but again, P900, fantastic printer, 10 inks. It's got a wide color gamut, and absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. That's the technical info, shall we say, about how these are printed. Let me have a look at individual prints now and what paper they're printed on and kind of why and what differences the prints make. I want to start with Paul Sanders's print here, which is printed. Now I've deviated very slightly from what Paul normally prints on. So Paul normally uses platinum cotton for his prints. I've deviated very slightly with this and printed it on our matte brighter. Reason being, I've done one over here, which is Paul's as well. And I did do this on the platinum cotton, amazing black and white with deep blacks. Now, the platinum cotton is a little bit slightly warmer paper. It's not far off the matte brighter, just because the brighter content of the paper does have an effect of slightly yellowing and brings it more to a natural white. Not saying it is a warm paper, but it is slightly off-white, very slightly. However, what I like, and I think within Paul's work, because it's very minimalist, is the smoothness of the paper. And I think that'd be really important for Paul's work in particular, especially this one here, this purely minimalist picture with this. I mean, this is absolutely stunning print. Now, obviously you've got these lovely gradients going on here as well in the grey here. I think if you had a texture in there, even a very slight texture, a bit like the platinum gloss art fibre I've got over here that I've printed one of Gavin's pictures on, I think it would be too distracting. Not mentioning the gloss on that paper, but the texture wise. Also, I mean, I've got Charlie Waits here with this platinum etching and this lovely, like, slight texture to it. Again, I think that would be too much. You need a beautifully smooth paper that goes across like this, and it's absolutely, I think it just works really well. So I might be sending you a box to test, Paul, see if I can convert you. Also, I should say that this print here on the platinum cotton looks absolutely stunning, mainly because it's one of Paul's pictures, but also it just works really well. Again, we've got that smoothness of the water here, these lovely, beautiful deep blacks as well. Just works absolutely fantastically. Again, the picture does make a massive difference as well. If you've got a good picture, then most papers will work okay for you. It's little things like the texture, the smoothness, or you want a little bit of texture like the Charlie Waite one over here, like on the platinum etching here, because it's quite a busy scene. We've got some lovely textures in the grasses and the flowers here. And again, obviously it's Charlie, so it's absolutely perfect in its composition. So let's have a bit of a closer look at Charlie's while we're here. Now, like I said, it's on the platinum etching, which is Charlie's signature paper with us. Platinum etching is 285 grams. This is a great option if you take kind of scenes a little bit like this, but also if you take scenes like Lizzie's here as well, who also uses platinum etching as well. And you've got some busyness going on in the picture. If you've got a smoothness like Paul's, it might not work as well. It'll still look good, don't get me wrong, but it might not work as well as, say, a smooth paper. However, for these two prints here, they work fantastic. Lizzie's got all this beautiful detail in here, and this muted palette works really well with the natural white of the paper, and it just works really, really well. Also, Charlie's picture here, you've got a little bit of warmth going on in here and it's reacting across. I mean, you can't knock the composition, to be honest, in this beautifully placed cloud and things. But the platinum etching just works really well. Some people think that platinum etching has to be kind of a bit more muted kind of print. However, you can see here with the bright colors on Charlie's, it holds that color beautifully. Again, we probably recommend custom profiles with all of these papers to get the best results as well. Also, because of the P900 I've printed it on, again, it's got that huge color gamut, but also it's got that photo black and matte black ink as well, which is really important when you're printing on matte papers, because it just gives you that punch in kind of the fence here and things like that. So if you are really serious about your printing, it's probably worth just looking at a printer, a pigment-based printer with a matte black and photo black in. Printers like the Epson ET8550 is a dye-based printer, but it does have a pigment black. And if you select the Velvet Fine Art, as I understand it, it will start using that pigment black as well. So you don't have to go down the whole route and spend thousands of pounds on the P900. Now, the ET8550 is an eco-tank machine, really cheap to run and fantastic option as well. Now, while I'm here, I want to talk about this lovely Joe Cornish here, because I have a few of Joe's prints on the table here that I think we need to talk about. I've printed this one here on platinum cotton because of the warmth in here. Now, platinum cotton is Joe's paper of choice now, because of it's got no OBA content or optical brighteners in it that will evaporate over time, so it gives him full archivability, but also the environmental impact of OBAs as well, very important to Joe. It's a natural white, same as the Paul Sanders print we had, but it's stunning, absolutely stunning, perfectly smooth paper as well, 100% cotton, looks amazing. Now this one here I've printed because Joe is one of our signature artists as well, so he has his name on a box. And he has his name on the smooth cotton paper, which has a higher white point because it's got a small amount of OBAs in, 100% cotton, absolutely perfectly smooth as well. It holds the amazing detail that Joe captures in his pictures, and it just holds them perfectly, because sometimes with matte papers things can get a little bit soft in tone, probably not in sharpness, but softer in tone. Contrast can be lost a little bit, but the smooth cotton, it does hold all this absolutely fantastically. Again, with a proper profile, that free service that we offer at Fotospeed here gives perfect results, and you hold all this amazing detail as well by the master, should we say. So it's going to be an amazing print. Now, I printed this one also on the smooth cotton, and again, it's just held amazing detail in here. I was very fortunate to go to the place, Fountains Abbey, that Joe had photographed for the National Trust over a period, I think it was 2 years because of lockdown and things like that, and have a walk around with Joe and see these amazing prints in situ as well, and talk to Joe about the reasoning behind these prints. I'll put a link up, or I'll put a link in the description to the interview I did with him and talking about these amazing prints as well. But this is one of the ones that Joe took as part of that project, and these amazing trees that sit in Fountains Abbey, and the shapes and the details on them, all perfectly held within the smooth cotton, but also the final prints were actually made on the platinum cotton. And I would say, I've printed this one on smooth cotton, but I would say possibly that this one, because of this little bit of warmth in here, would suit the platinum cotton a little bit more. Maybe I went for a wrong choice there, but please, Joe, don't shout too much. But looks absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm very privileged to print all these prints for this video, and thank you to them all for giving me permission, to be honest. Now, here I have a couple of prints by Nigel Danson, and again, I'm blown away by Nigel's work. He has worked with us for quite a number of years now, and it's amazing to always print his work and see it coming off the printer. Now, these two prints, I think, are stunning. The light is incredible in these pictures. I've printed them on a paper that Nigel uses, which is NST Bright White. Again, NST Bright White is one of those papers that will kind of do a little bit of everything for you, and especially landscape photography. Now, it is a bright white paper, so it does contain OBAs. However, for a picture like this, where you really want the light to pop off a page, and this amazing detail in kind of the background here in the clouds, and this, I assume, storm coming over, and the figure here to give a little bit of perspective as well. I'm not a landscape photographer, so I'm probably gushing over these a little bit because I can't do this. So, so apologies. But again, the NST Bright White looks really, really well. And I might come back to it a little bit later because it is a paper that can do everything, and all the prints that we have here would look fantastic on NST Bright White. I sometimes find myself, when I'm printing for other people, having to stop myself almost using it because it's the first paper we think of. And it's one of the easier fine art papers to print on as well, because it just works kind of with everything. But I mean, it works exceptionally well with Nigel's pictures. I think these would kind of work quite well on the platinum etching as well, because of the grass details here and the rocks. Where platinum etching might fall down a little bit is this space up here. I might want to keep it smooth. I mean, the NST Bright White isn't a perfectly smooth paper like the platinum cotton or smooth cotton perhaps, or the matte baryta. It does have this very slight little bit of texture to it, but it works really, really well. You can't really see the texture coming through. I always say with papers, if you can see the paper through the image, like a heavy texture coming through, like in the clouds at the top here, then you probably shouldn't be using that textured paper. It's about keeping the hierarchy within your print. The actual picture, the image, should be top, and then the paper is there to support the image, not the other way around. I always think sometimes the worst comment you can probably have is, oh, what a beautiful paper that's printed on, not that's an amazing image, because they're noticing the paper more than the image. So then that puts doubt in your mind, or it does to me anyway, and think, well, isn't the image very good? It could just be the wrong paper, and you've just got too much of that texture, although it feels amazing in your hand as well. And that's a big thing. NST Bright White is 100% cotton as well, so it's Again, it's beautiful. Maybe it's just a picture on it, but it looks fantastic. Okay, so I have a few prints to finish. Now, I have an amazing picture of Dartmoor here from Julian, amazing ambassador of ours. And we printed this on the matte baryta. The matte baryta really suits his images. Like I said, it's slightly off-white. It's that kind of natural white. And the baryta content really picks up the details because Julian plays a lot with light and shadows. And all these pictures are taken on Dartmoor. So the windiness as well is captured here as it goes through. And you've still held all the lovely detail. I really like with Julian's about the blues and the yellows kind of the light and the sun and things. So just works really, really nicely for that. And looks fantastic as well. Again, probably the picture more. Now we also have from Julian this amazing print. I've printed this on NST Bright White again, just because it was a paper I knew it could have been quite tricky to print this one. And because of very, very subtle detail in the shadows here, and just these lovely lines going across. We've got this amazing detail in the shoreline here. So it could have been a difficult one to process, to be honest, and print. Possibly matte baryta might have taken it down too much, tone and contrast wise. The same with smooth cotton and platinum cotton. We could have gone for a textured, possibly like a platinum etching. However, again, we've got this lovely gradiated sky up here and this smoothness of the sea. But again, we've got this amazing texture in the land here. So I chickened out a little bit, to be honest, and I went for NST Bright White because I think when I look at something and I think that could be difficult, NST Bright White is just going to do a great job and hopefully take a little bit of that stress away. And again, like I said, I need to stop myself kind of using it, but I think it looks beautiful. It's held all the lovely detail in here as well. I haven't actually do anything to these prints. I will say I haven't cropped anything. I haven't made adjustments in Lightroom or brought shadows up or anything at all. These are as the photographers sent them across to me, just these perfect kind of TIFFs or JPEGs that they've sent to me. So again, looks beautiful. Now, I've got to give a warning to Gavin because I've gone a little bit off-piste with this one, I'm afraid. Now, when we think of landscape photography, we normally think of matte papers. Now, when I first saw this picture from Gavin, the photo tripper, I thought beautiful colours, amazing details. I really want it to pop off the page. So like I said, I've gone a little bit off-piste because I think Gavin normally uses NST Bright White or platinum etching kind of papers. But I went for the platinum gloss art fibre for this one. And I have to say, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It's got that little bit of sheen to it. So it's like a satiny kind of finish, unglazed gloss, I think the technical term is. Got that beautiful texture as well, very similar to the texture of NST Bright White. But it makes the prints pop off the page. It feels very much like an old darkroom paper as well, like a fibre-based paper. But printing colour images on it works amazing. It's fantastic. It held all the detail absolutely fantastically. Saying that, I think if I printed it on NST Bright White, it would still look a fantastic picture because obviously Gavin's taking it. So it's going to look brilliant. Now, again, it would hold all the colour here. However, I just wanted to say that I wanted to kind of an example really, try to finish off the video that you don't need to print on matte papers for your landscape photography. You think landscape, you think matte, whereas you can use baryta papers or the legacy paper we have, which is a lot warmer, but also the platinum gloss art fibre is a fantastic kind of in-between point because it's that unglazed glass, that kind of satiny look, and it's got that lovely little bit of texture in it, but not too much, so it doesn't really come out in the sky. And it feels amazing in your hand as well. So if you did want to go down that route and you like that kind of feel, this is the paper for you, for your landscapes, especially if they're big, bright colours. Also, I wasn't allowed to, but because Charlie Waite is obviously a signature artist for platinum etching, that you could have done this picture on it as well, because you've got those big dark, bold colours in here and it would really pop off the page. The only thing you have to be wary of, and you can probably see it on the camera overhead, is that sheen as well. So you are kind of battling a little bit of which way the viewer looks at it. So perhaps a museum glass to put it behind, etc. Now, my first question, and what I opened up with, was one paper that kind of you would be safe to print on for landscape photography. Everything I've printed on today, I think you'd be absolutely safe with, and just thinking about the texture, the smoothness, or a little bit of texture in, or kind of somewhere in between, like the NST Bright White. If you're in doubt, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, other people in the office and here at Fotospeed have other opinions as well, but I think NST Bright White you cannot go far wrong with. Also our new matte brighter as well, I've been absolutely blown away by it. And I'm not just saying that because I work for Fotospeed, I really have. I purposely didn't see things when it was being developed. I saw some prints on it very briefly. What do you think? Looks great. But I wanted I didn't want to be influenced by seeing prints under development and things like that. I wanted to see it when I did the video for it for the first time. And I was really blown away by it, to be honest. And it's absolutely fantastic paper. And I'm glad I waited to see it properly with some proper pictures on it because it looks fantastic. So those two are probably my kind of choices, closely followed by platinum etching because of that lovely texture. But like I said again, you do need a little bit of texture in it, like Lizzie's picture here, because of that texture. Also works amazing for black and whites. If you've got a lot of mid-tones in your pictures and not much kind of black or white, like a high contrast picture, then platinum etching works beautifully. It does something, it almost takes the pictures into a dreamlike state. Looks fantastic. I know Lizzie's here is toned, but again, it looks absolutely fantastic on the page there, and it really picks out the detail because of the texture as well. What a slight texture on a page can do is it can lift the picture a little bit and almost make it look a little bit 3D and give a little bit more depth to the picture for you. But the platinum etching won't do this too much. You normally need like a cotton etching or something like that, or a natural textured type of paper with a heavy texture for it to really work. However, I hadn't used those today because I really wanted to talk about platinum etching mainly. So those are three I'd recommend to start with. Let me talk a little bit about smooth cotton because, again, smooth cotton, beautiful paper, and I recommend anyone to use it, as I'm going to recommend all of these papers, to be honest. However, you might need to tweak shadows, highlights, and contrast a little bit more than you would on the other types of papers, just because that smoothness and 100% cotton base can just kind of draw down that punch and that contrast a little bit for you. And also don't forget the platinum gloss art fibre or the platinum cotton as well. I hope that's been okay and giving you an overview of 5 papers that I like to use and I would recommend. So if you gave us a call and said, what would you recommend for this picture? It'd be probably one of those. Now, everything I've used on the table, apart from the platinum etching and the platinum gloss art fibre, is in the Fine Art Matte Smooth test pack. Now, the platinum gloss art fibre I've used here is in our Fine Art Glossy, and the platinum etching, which is Charlie Waite's amazing signature paper, is in our Fine Art Textured test pack. And all these papers are available in sheets and rolls as well. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to stop gushing over these amazing photographers and all these amazing papers as well, and their fantastic prints. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel as always. I'll put loads of links to everyone and all the papers I've used, so it's going to be a long description, I'm afraid. Also, don't forget to sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter on photospeed.com. Again, a link in description. So until next time, bye-bye.